All right, away we go. It is the Nightcap right here on BearcatJournal.com, presented as always by our good friends at Galactic Fried Chicken. Visit www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Download the app for Android, iPhone, everything Galactic. Get yourself down to Dayton, Kentucky. Tell them to pump it up. Save yourself 15%. But make sure you're not there on Monday and Tuesday. They're closed on Monday and Tuesday. So make sure you get there Wednesday through Sunday. This couldn't be a better thing to cater your Bearcat Saturday on the road if you can't make the watch party. Or
Host
cater maybe a Bengals Sunday.
A tailgate down at Paycor?
Yeah. A tailgate down at Paycor Stadium. Saturday. I don't know. Go pick it up Friday night.
Grab it at 10 a.m.
Grab it at 10 a.m. on Saturday.
Little noon action.
Right. So make sure you make that happen. Support our sponsors, as always, at Galactic Fried Chicken. All right, Aaron.
Are they even open at 10? I don't know.
I don't know either. 10:30, 11.
Kind of close.
I hate noon games.
Maybe he opens up early for if there's a demand.
Yeah.
If you're buying enough for a tailgate, he might open up early if you get a hold of him ahead of time. Just saying.
I'm sick of shit. I'm trying to fight through this.
I get it.
We had a great BBP tonight with Ryan Royer. You and Brent did an excellent job carrying the show. I've got an interesting question for you. I didn't ask in the.
These are my favorite shows, by the way, that we do when I have no idea what we're talking about before we start.
Yeah, I told you like in the pre-show meeting, let's just go live, and we'll have this conversation.
So I'm in the dark.
We're going into week 3.
Mm-hmm.
Who has, if we're not talking about the mainstays, the guys we were talking about as stars on this team before the season started?
So by that you mean whichever quarterback got the job,
or like the 9 guys that were named all comp, like a preseason all conference, or the guys that were getting all the hype, the guys that have starred in Let It Fly.
Yeah.
Like, of the guys we don't know a ton about yet,
mm-hmm.
What guys have caught your eye so far through 2 weeks?
In no particular order. Do you want me to give a little blurb about each of them? How we doing?
We have.
Let me list off the guys first and foremost. I'll list them all off because I can.
Okay.
I think I can do this fairly well. Tunstall, Huber,
fair, yeah.
On the offensive line,
Joe Huber, yeah,
correct. Joe Huber. Mason Fletcher.
Oh, star,
just
star.
Just saying, Mason Fletcher would definitely be included in that. I guess I would, if I'm staying on the offensive side of the ball, I just want to make sure I got Mace out there before I forgot special teams.
Fair.
Will Pauling.
I hope he's okay. I don't have that. Looked bad. It looked bad.
He's led the team in targets 2 straight weeks, I believe.
Yeah. That was not that we wrote a lot about Will Pauling having a really good camp, right? Mm-hmm. They apparently held him in even higher regard than we did.
I don't even know if it's necessarily the staff or if it's that he's just Ben Bryant's go-to guy.
He's just open a lot.
Whatever the case may be, it shocks the hell out of me. I brought it up to Ryan even tonight in the show, but it shocks the hell out of me that we've seen way more Will Pauling than we've seen Trey Tucker. I'm shocked by that.
Yeah, I hope he's okay. I don't know the answer to that. Like it didn't look great. When the cart comes out, you're worried.
Miles I don't know if I'm saying Miles Montgomery or if I'm saying Corey Kiner, because I think both have been outstanding. And we kind of knew about that, but they weren't guys on those lists. So
I will take the antagonist position here. Charles Mcclellan is the biggest surprise in that running back room.
I'm done calling him Chuck. I call him Chunk McClellan because that's what he gets.
Chunk
he
plays,
gets
right?
he gets chunk plays. Like will not call him Chuck the rest of the season. He is
I
Chunk.
love that nickname. I love that nickname. I love it.
Chunk McClellan is what I've told Brent. I think I even did that even last week after he got the touchdown that was called back by the phantom holding call, where he wanted to hold so bad.
He tried to hold so bad.
He just didn't.
He did everything he could to hold, and he didn't.
So that's, I guess, the offensive side of the ball for me. I don't know if I'm missing anybody that you had on your list, but that's
teeny tiny look at Shaman.
Well, he hasn't done enough for me to put on the list yet.
Okay. Teeny tiny look at Shaman.
What
he catches a 38-yard or whatever it was pass, and then blows open the hole for Evan Prater to score a touchdown on the left side.
I would venture to say I'm not. I stand so hard for Blue Smith, so I can't say that I'm on the same level.
Blue had a great block on that as well.
He did, but I've stand so hard for Blue Smith that I can't say that I've stand for Shaman on that same level. But I don't think it's been a secret where Jeff's even mentioning it during the brunch that I have stand for Shaman, right. Whether it be here, whether it be on PTP, wherever the case may be. I am so high on Shaman Monteiro.
We were all in on Shaman through the spring when Josh was out.
Yeah,
he was a monster.
Yeah. So, not ready to quite put him on the list yet. He's outside looking in. I think is a fair place to put him, and that's where I would put him. But that's offense for me. On defense, start on the line, Eric Phillips and Dante Corleone. No doubt about it. Those are probably the two guys that we weren't talking about going into.
We were. I mean, they were
not on the list.
Right. Yeah.
Noah Potter outside looking in on that line
had a really good day Saturday.
Sure.
Yeah.
Given a lot of opportunity as well. Linebacker, I don't know that I'm ready to put anybody on that list right now that wasn't already on a list.
Right. Like those five guys are going to be those five guys.
Well,
for right now,
but,
at least.
But both Pace brothers were on lists.
And Jack Dingle had a pretty good game, 7 tackles.
Just not ready to put anybody else quite on any lists of guys that have been.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like
sure.
Ivan, Deshaun, Huber,
yeah,
Jaheim,
Ty Van
Fossen, like those are the 5 guys.
Yeah,
I think at least Jack Dingle introduced himself into that. Like, I'm in the conversation.
An Adonis, some might say.
Some might say. Not me, but some.
Certainly you. As far as secondary goes, Jaquan has been better than I anticipated.
Correct. I agree.
Like even knowing that he won the job, he has still been better than I anticipated. I will say there were a couple plays that I felt like Arquan put himself out of position even on Saturday.
Everybody's playing up in the triple option.
I get it. I get it.
Yes.
It's a weird defense to play. It's not their traditional defense, so they're playing out of place when you have 5 DBs.
4-4-3. Yeah, you've only got 3 DBs instead of 5.
It's very different. But he found himself
and those Kennesaw State quarterbacks threw some like silly, like just long like grenades that just showed up over the top of the defense. Like
that metaphor works so much better when you're playing one of the military academies. Just saying.
I know, but it's a triple option, and that's
I get it.
That's what happens when they pass the ball.
But Jaquan's played really well. I think this weekend, Amorion Smith put himself on OLI, outside looking in.
How about that hit?
He's on the outside looking in.
That's a Brian Cook. I'm going to blow you up.
Yeah.
And then Ethan Wright.
So Ethan Wright has to be on the list, right? At this point, like, I don't even think it's. I think he's passed up. I think he might have passed up Brian Threats for my favorite safety right now. I was big I was big on Brian Threats because he was
I love Brian Threats.
A small guy who can just flat out hit.
He's athletic. He can run. He can hit. He can make plays.
But Ethan Wright's showing out a little bit.
Ethan Wright is a dude. And he's a dude that's been playing safety since like July. Right? Like I said it on the BBP tonight. Ethan Wright is going to be an NFL safety.
I feel like if Ed was producing this show, this is where he'd be. Dog.
Woof, woof, woof. Dog. Like, yeah, Ethan Wright. Like, go look. And this is exactly what I said on the BBP. Go look at that stop he made in the backfield where they tried to motion out a play to the right side. And Ethan Wright just came up and
not today.
If there was a hog tie, like if you could wrap him up, that's what Ethan Wright did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's frowned upon on the football field. But
yeah, well, having a lasso, probably not allowed.
If we knew he had that in his arsenal, we should have brought that against the Razorbacks,
right? But that's a guy that like he was in that running back room, and honestly, it would have been really easy at points to move him back to that running back room, like when Kiner was kind of coming off a soft tissue injury.
Ryan
has kind of been in the flux. Like it would have been very easy to move Ethan Wright back into that running back room. That tells me they see him different at safety.
I think
they see him as a guy that can be a major impact at safety.
I think that says as much though for Miles Montgomery and Corey Kiner.
Sure.
And Chunk Mcclellan for that matter.
Chunk. I'm going to tell him you called him Chunk.
It's not make sure you follow up with why.
Why? I'll tell him why. I'm not going to tell him it's because you think he's fat.
No, I mean he's not. He's like 3% body fat.
Right. Come on. So yeah, I think that's a good estimation of like. There's a lot of dudes. We talked about this coming into the season. Which of these young guys are going to start to force their way into the conversation? We're through 2 games. We've got a list. We just did 13 minutes on the list.
There's a couple guys on the outside looking in, trying to force their way into the conversation.
Yeah.
Definitely some dudes that have just already just elbowed their way into the conversation. And some of those guys on those lists, obviously we haven't seen anything yet from Lorenz Metz. We're still waiting to see the Deshaun Pace of 2021.
He was really good yesterday.
It was certainly a bounce back game.
Yeah.
In coverage though, I think we're still waiting to see that Deshaun Pace come back.
Yeah. The only other thing I wanted to get to, how about Defoe?
The fact that he has an entire highlight reel of like over a minute, I retweeted it. I think you retweeted my retweet, but wow.
So we have been told from the day he got to campus by Brady Collins that was a dude. And we touched on this like around it on the BBP tonight, but when has Brady been wrong about identifying a dude?
The funny thing though, Chad, is the fact that we're having a conversation on Monday, September 12th, 2022, as to which was more of a dude, Defoe or Sauce.
Well, nobody's throwing at Sauce. It's just not going to happen.
He's recreated Revis Island.
He's
in New York. He has recreated Revis Island.
Well, here's what I worry about, Aaron. Here's my fear with Sauce. The other DBs in that secondary
are so bad
that
they're just picking on them.
They don't have to throw anywhere near Sauce.
Sauce.
So
If they don't throw at Sauce, though, he might just mess around and make the Pro Bowl as a rookie.
So they play the Bengals in a couple weeks.
I know.
Who's Sauce going to guard? I've been interested in this. I put Sauce on T. Higgins.
If T's back, I would hope
He's going to be. I think
with a concussion, I would hope he's back.
Yeah. I don't put Sauce on Jamar because I think Jamar can move. Like, if you're going to put Sauce on Jamar, you have to be willing to put Sauce all over. T is always going to be an outside guy. Whether it's field or boundary, he's always going to be an outside guy. I put Sauce on T and say, we're taking T away.
He might be the only one tall enough to go up on a jump ball with T.
Now, the problem is then you put Jamar on a shitty other corner or nickel or
as a Bengals fan, I'm not upset with any of that.
Right. Everybody's looking for, like, what's Sauce versus Jamar look like? I think if you're the Jets, you're like, we're just going to put him on T.
But back to Defoe, though, if you haven't already checked out his highlight package, my goodness, the hit that he laid to pop that ball, I think it sailed 12 yards. It was absurd how far that ball went when he just went downfield and laid the smack down.
Broke up 2 passes in the end zone, had the game-winning interception. Look,
weird.
Man, he's that dude.
No one here is surprised.
No,
but
we know.
Let's start giving Cincinnati a little bit of credit here.
Yeah.
The fact that they moved up only 1 spot in the AP poll or the coaches poll.
Arkansas moved in the top 10 to.
We moved up 1 spot.
Arkansas moved into the top 10. Cincinnati lost a 1-score game that they didn't play well at Arkansas. Arkansas's in the top 10. How is Cincinnati at 28?
27, I think, in the at least in the coaches poll.
So 2 spots. 29, 27, like whatever. FOH, as the kids would say.
That's the second time you've done that today.
Yeah, I know. That's the nightcap. We'll see you tomorrow. Brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!